Welcome to Warhammer 40k Dataslate Review. I am the Twin Coot, and in this kit compare we're going to be taking a look at the two Adeptus Mechanicus units, the Onager Dunecrawler and the Ironstrider Ballistarii.
Dataslate Review.
The next AdMech review to cover is a kit compare. I've already reviewed both the Ballistarii and Dunecrawlers, but the Dunecrawler video is a bit old at this point. Check back to those for more specific details on stats and tactics. Along with wanting to do an update video, I wanted to compare the two units because everyone keeps asking, Onager Dunecrawler or Ironstrider Ballistarii, which should you buy? In the description are timestamps if you want to skip ahead in the video. I won't feel bad, don't worry. On the surface, the vehicles are fairly different. The Ballistarii come in units of up to 6, while the Onager is a single vehicle. This leads their durabilities to be quite different. The Ballistarii are toughness and wounds 6, with a 4-up armor save and 6-up invulnerable. The Dunecrawlers are toughness 7 with 11 wounds, a 3-up armor, 5-up invulnerable. While the Dunecrawler has better flat defensive stats, the Ballistarii are still quite durable because they are defended from wounds spilling over. Taking down 6 wound models with weapons that deal multiple damage is bound to waste some hits. Say you had a Dunecrawler with full wounds, get shot by 2 las cannons. The damage rolls were a 6 and a 5, so our Crabwalker is dead. In another scenario, we have 11 wounds left between 2 Ballistarii, and we're shot by the same 2 las cannons rolling the same damage. If the 6 was rolled first, the second Ballistarii would survive with 1 wound, as the extra wound from the weakened Ballistarii does not spill over. Another point to mention with single vehicles is that they often have damage tables. This means the Dunecrawler will get worse as it takes damage. Its movement and ballistic skills start falling at half wounds. This decrease in effectiveness is comparable to losing models in a unit of Ballistarii though. Another side note I've noticed is Dunecrawlers are much easier to wrap in combat. Getting 3 models around an individual Dunecrawler will usually be easier than wrapping a unit of 3 or 4 Ballistarii, leaving the unit able to fall back while the Dunecrawler may be trapped. Moving on, both are decently fast vehicles, with the Ballistarii moving 10 inches and the Onager moving 8. The Onagers only roll D3 when advancing, but they don't suffer a penalty from moving and firing their heavy weapons. Offensively is what you care about though. Both start with their 3+ ballistic skill, as is tradition for Scutarii. They both have some options when it comes to weapons though. Starting with the Ballistarii, we have Cognus twin autocannons and Cognus twin las cannons. They're the same as their generic counterpart, except for the fact that they can advance and still shoot their heavy weapons, taking a -2 to hit modifier. The Dunecrawlers come with 4 different weapon options for their main gun. The heavy phosphor is almost never recommended, and the eradication beamer is sort of the cheap option you can take when you can't afford the other 2 weapons. The Icarus array has 10 attacks at various strength, AP, and damage. They're +1 to hit enemies with the fly keyword, but -1 to hit everybody else. The neutron laser is the final main weapon, and it's pretty decent. D3 shots, strength 10, AP -4, D6 damage. The kicker here is the weapon never does less than 3 damage. Also, the Onager will have a heavy stubber too, so that'll help with some damage. Since we have 2 options on each with similar uses, let's compare these 2 separately. Twin Cognus autocannons compared to the Icarus array, while the Twin Cognus las cannons can be compared to the neutron laser. I know I haven't mentioned points yet, but now is as good a time as any so we can get a good comparison. As of Chapter Approved 2018, the Ballistarii are 60 or 80 points depending on the gun, while the Dunecrawlers are between 110 and 120 points. So, let's do the autocannons and Icarus array first. Point-wise, you basically get 2 Ballistarii with autocannons for each Dunecrawler. Defensively, the chickens get an extra wound, plus they're defended against wounds spilling over, though the Dunecrawlers get better saves. Offensively, we are comparing 4 autocannon shots to 10 Icarus array shots. The Icarus array has a higher potential damage, but if you aren't shooting units with fly, the -1 will hurt. Unfortunately, Imperium Soup is the cool thing in the meta, and Astra Militarum nor Imperial Knights tend to have the fly keyword. I do like the Icarus Ray with proper support, but the autocannons have a more reliable general use. But that's probably not why you're watching this video. You want to know which is better, the Cognos Las Cannon or the Neutron Laser. Well, further points, you're getting 3 Las Cannon chickens for every 2 laser crabs. That's 6 shots compared to 2d3, which will likely mean 4 shots. Now, first of all, I want to mention that I don't really like weapons with random shots. I feel like in most cases, this will force you to use a command reroll just to keep up with statistics. When I get into stratagems and other unit synergies, I'll talk more about these 2 weapons. As I mentioned earlier, Chapter 2 2018 changed their point cost, and it actually gave them significant point decreases. Our metal chickens are 60 to 80 points, while our metal crabs are 100 to 120 points. Generally, you'll need 3 or 4 Ballistarii in a unit to be a threat, while the Onager has the benefit of a low entry cost. A single Dunecrawler is one of the cheaper units in AdMech that can actually do something. Most other AdMech units that pack a punch require larger investments. I'm looking at you, Castellan Robots, and Fulgurite Electro Priests. And while you can take a single Ballistarii, it will likely end up being more of a liability than anything else. While we're on the subject of cost, let's bring up power level. A single Dunecrawler is 7 power level, which is just enough to be marked for death in ITC missions. This will give the opponent a point each time they kill a Dunecrawler, assuming they choose them. The Ballistarii, on the other hand, will give up 1 point per unit, which is probably just the 1. Even if it's full of 6 chickens, they will still only be giving up the 1 point for secondaries. Next thing for us to talk about are unit synergies. How do we make either vehicle really shine? When discussing this, we have to remember units of Ballistarii are easier to augment than single Dunecrawlers. When talking about aura abilities, this means Ballistarii will just need a single model in range of support units to receive their enhancements. Keeping multiple Dunecrawlers, and whatever else, in an aura range will be difficult with their huge bases. Anyway, who will have support abilities? Well, the Tech Priest, of course. The Tech Priest Dominus has a reroll to hit rolls of 1 aura. This is helpful for either vehicle variant, but combined with the Protector, Doctrina, Imperative stratagem, I think the Ballistarii start to shine a bit brighter. With the combination, all the Ballistarii could be hitting on 2+ with reroll 1s even if they moved. Doctrinas give Ironstriders +2 to hit for just 1 CP, and it's one of the AdMech's best stratagems. Now we could give the stratagem to the Dunecrawlers as well, but it's only affecting one of them. With the las cannons almost always hitting, that is a whole lot of reliability the Dunecrawlers cannot give you. With 2 Dunecrawlers and rerolls 1 to hit, you're hitting about 3 times. Even if one of the Dunecrawlers uses the Doctrinas, the Ballistarii hit more often. And then you also have to rely on rolling average on the amount of Dunecrawler shots. Dunecrawlers do have a higher strength and rend, and have a more reliable damage value. On the other hand, the Ballistarii can save a command reroll for a damage roll, whereas the Dunecrawlers were probably using it on one of their numbered shots. Another stratagem to mention is Cognos Overwatch, a stratagem completely lost on Dunecrawlers. Many opponents will want to engage the Ballistarii in melee to stop them from firing. Well, if the enemy charges them, they can activate this stratagem and fire at their normal 3+ ballistic skill. This is awesome to surprise your foe and really lay the hurting on whatever is charging them. The Dunecrawlers do have their Cognos heavy stoppers, but they'll get engaged and that's the end of that. Ironstrider is another stratagem that helps the Ballistarii, and quite a bit. This one would allow them to advance 2d6, which is average move of 17 inches. The Dunecrawlers only advance d3, plus their base move is slower, so there really is no comparison here. Though, to be fair, it is worth reiterating the Dunecrawlers naturally ignore the penalty for moving and shooting. There are, however, a few stratagems that would be more beneficial to the Onager Dunecrawlers than the Ballistarii. Tech Adept is one, since it allows the vehicle to be repaired a second time. With the relevant Warlord trait, the vehicle could be healed d3+1. With the two together, a Dunecrawler could easily be taken from its bottom damage tier up to the top. Ballistarii like getting healed too, but some of those wounds are going to get wasted. The other stratagem here is Machine Spirit Resurgent. This one would also allow a Dunecrawler to act as top tier on their damage table, even if at 1 wound. Also, Benevolence of the Omnissiah is awesome for Dunecrawlers and only okay for Ballistarii. The stratagem works on 1 vehicle model and gives them a 5+ save against mortal wounds. Pretty great to protect your Dunecrawler if exposed to multiple smites, and can really decrease the output of damage from certain enemies like Psychers and Snipers. So, that's what the units work with, but how do our vehicles fare in an AdMech or even Imperium force? Generally, if you're taking an AdMech brigade, you'll have 2 or 3 Dunecrawlers, but taking the bare minimum Ballistarii really doesn't cut it, and for less than 10 points more, the player could just field Dragoons, which are much better if there is only enough points for 1 per unit. As stated before, the entry cost to Dunecrawlers is much lower. A single Dunecrawler is fine if that's all you have points for. Taking Ballistarii will usually cost at least 200 to 300 points. Both will need a Dominus, so there's no difference here, but other than that, they will both fit as an anti-tank option. Finally, we have to break these 2 vehicle units down point for point. The Onager Dunecrawler's weapon loadout is more powerful than the Ballistarii's, but the Ballistarii are more accurate with their enhancements. The Dunecrawlers are more durable, but Ballistarii can waste multi-damage weapons because you can't spill over on them. The Dunecrawlers can move and shoot, while the Ballistarii move faster and can advance and shoot. Dunecrawlers fill force organization slots more efficiently because their entry cost is lower, while Ballistarii are more efficiently enhanced. Both units receive a 4 out of 5, but the winner of this kit compare is the Ironstrider Ballistarii. I know a lot of people have been saying Dunecrawlers are the way to go for a while, but I disagree and have had much better success with Ballistarii. Being able to enhance the whole unit really gives them the edge. Please check out my individual Dataslate reviews for more details on both units because they both are solid units, and they can be fielded together in an AdMech force. Which unit do you prefer? Which units would you like to see compared or reviewed? Leave your thoughts, suggestions, and questions in the comments below, and thanks for watching.